In the opulent shadows of a sprawling mansion overlooking the San Francisco Bay, where the fog rolled in like whispered secrets, lived Alexander Harrington, a self-made millionaire whose fortune was built on silicon dreams and stock market conquests. At 62, with silver hair and eyes sharpened by years of boardroom battles, Alex had everything money could buy, except trust. His latest paranoia centered on Elena Ramirez, his loyal maid of 5 years, a woman whose quiet efficiency had kept his home immaculate. Small items had gone missing lately, a silver pen, a vintage watch from his study. Alex, haunted by betrayals in his past, from a scheming ex-wife to disloyal business partners, decided to test her. One crisp autumn morning, as the city below buzzed with life, he deliberately left his safe ajar in the master bedroom, stacks of crisp $100 bills peeking out like forbidden fruit. Hidden cameras rolled, and Alex retreated to his office, heart pounding with a mix of anticipation and dread. Little did he know, this trap would unravel not Elena's character, but his own heart and soul. Elena arrived at precisely 8 a.m., as she always did, her worn sneakers squeaking softly on the marble floors. A 45-year-old immigrant from Mexico, she carried the weight of two worlds on her shoulders, the one she left behind, filled with sun-baked villages and family ties, and the one she embraced in America, where dreams were chased amid endless hustle. With 3 children to support, her eldest son, Miguel, battling a rare illness that drained their savings, Elena worked tirelessly, sending money home and scraping by in a tiny apartment in Oakland. She hummed a soft lullaby from her childhood as she dusted the living room, her calloused hands moving with the grace of someone who found dignity in every task. Alex watched from his screen, his coffee growing cold. Would she succumb? The safe was in plain view, a temptation designed to expose any flaw. As Elena entered the bedroom, her eyes widened at the sight of the open safe. The money inside, easily $50,000, gleamed under the chandelier's light. She froze, her dust cloth dangling from her hand. Alex leaned forward, expecting the worst. But instead of reaching in, Elena stepped back, her face paling. She glanced around, as if sensing invisible eyes, then approached cautiously. Her fingers trembled as she gently pushed the door shut, the click of the lock echoing like a verdict. Alex's brow furrowed. This wasn't the reaction he anticipated. She didn't stop there. From her apron pocket, she pulled out a small notepad and scribbled something, tearing off the page and slipping it under the safe's edge. Then, with a sigh that seemed to carry the burdens of a lifetime, she resumed cleaning, polishing the dresser with extra care. Curiosity burned in Alex as he fast-forwarded the footage. What had she written? He couldn't wait for her to leave. Feigning a casual return to the bedroom, he found the note. "Senor Harrington, I think you forgot to close this. Please be careful, there are bad people in the world, but not everyone is like that. Your home is safe with me. Dios te bendiga. God bless you." The words hit him like a wave, simple yet profound. No theft, no greed, just concern for him. But why? Alex's mind raced. He reviewed the cameras again, noticing details he'd overlooked. Elena's weary posture, the way she paused to massage her temples, the faint worry lines etched deeper than before. Guilt gnawed at him. How could he have doubted her? That evening, as the sun dipped below the Golden Gate Bridge, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Alex decided to confront her, not with accusation, but with questions. The next day, Elena arrived to find Alex waiting in the kitchen, a rare occurrence. He offered her coffee, his voice uncharacteristically soft. "Elena, please sit. I need to talk to you." She hesitated, her dark eyes flickering with unease, but complied. Over steaming mugs, Alex confessed about the trap, the missing items which he later realized were misplaced by his own forgetfulness and the note that had pierced his cynicism. Elena listened quietly, her hands folded in her lap. When he finished, tears welled in her eyes, not from anger, but from a deeper well of emotion. "Senor, I understand. Life has hurt you. But I could never take what isn't mine. My abuela taught me that kindness is the only wealth that multiplies." As they talked, Elena opened up about her life. Miguel's treatments were costing more than she could afford. The latest bill had arrived, a staggering $10,000 for experimental therapy that could save his life. She worked extra jobs, cleaning offices at night, babysitting on weekends, but it wasn't enough. Alex's heart ached. Here was a woman who, faced with temptation, chose integrity. An unexpected turn unfolded in his mind. Perhaps the real thief was his own isolation, stealing away his capacity for connection. He remembered his own humble beginnings, orphaned young and clawing his way up from nothing, vowing never to let vulnerability in again. But Alina's story mirrored his past struggles, reminding him of the humanity he'd buried under layers of wealth. Moved by her selflessness, Alex felt a profound realization dawn. Wealth wasn't in bank accounts but in the bonds we forge. That afternoon, he made a call to his lawyer, setting in motion a plan. But first, he invited Alina's family over for dinner, a gesture foreign to his solitary life. The mansion, usually echoing with emptiness, filled with laughter as Miguel, a bright-eyed 12-year-old despite his frailty, marveled at the view. Alina's daughters, Sofia and Lucia, chattered about school, their innocence a balm to Alex's jaded spirit. During the meal, Alex shared stories of his youth, vulnerability cracking his facade. Elena watched, her smile warm, sensing the shift in him. The emotional climax came after dessert, as the family prepared to leave. Alex pulled Elena aside. "You've shown me what true richness is," he said, voice thick with emotion. In an act of profound generosity, he handed her a check, not from the safe's contents, but from his heart, for $50,000, enough to cover Miguel's treatments and more. "This isn't charity, it's gratitude. You've reminded me that kindness isn't weakness, it's strength." Elena gasped, tears streaming down her face. She hugged him fiercely, whispering, "Thank you, Señor. But remember, the greatest gift is opening your heart." Alex, for the first time in decades, felt tears of his own, not from loss, but from the overwhelming power of humanity's light piercing his darkness. In the weeks that followed, Alex's life transformed. He volunteered at local clinics, funding programs for immigrant families like Alina's. Miguel's health improved, and the two families grew close, sharing holidays and milestones. Alex learned to trust again, his mansion no longer a fortress but a home filled with warmth. Alina's reaction hadn't just spared her a trap, it had freed him from his own prison of suspicion. And so, in a world often divided by walls of wealth and doubt, this story whispers a heartwarming truth. True wealth blooms from acts of kindness, selflessness bridging the gaps between us. No matter our station, the power of humanity lies in choosing compassion over cynicism, leaving us all a little more hopeful, a little more whole. As the fog lifted over the bay, revealing a clearer horizon, Alex knew that the greatest fortunes are those we give away.